Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. I was trying to talk about the Megasoft dimension before we were rudely interrupted by whatever the hell that, disconnect was. But the system itself comes with the Dimension headset, the twin pads, which are a pair of game pads that you hold, one in each hand. They're all rechargeable, which is cool. Um, but then here's the kicker. So, not only is the headset itself rechargeable, but you can also have it permanently hooked up to a console. That's right, this is a virtual reality gaming console. So, the Megasoft Dimension is able to take physical media in the form of the proprietary Megasoft VR media cards, which are the game cards that you can put into the system. And what's really cool is that, there's different bundles as well. So, I should say this the headset is not purchasable separately. You can get the gamepads separately. Um, but That's only if you want a different color. But what is possible is that someone can bring over their headset, and basically how this will work, and Microsoft has already talked about this. So what will happen is the console that you or the other person is utilizing can initiate itself as the host console, and your headset would be marked as the host headset, and the players after you, so like player 2, player 3, player 4, they will all be marked as secondary, tertiary, and quintiary, or whatever it is. Basically second, third, and fourth players. And what you can do is you can initiate a local group multiplayer thing called PlaySpace. And what it'll do is, of course, your headset will be the primary headset, with the other ones being second, third, and fourth. And it can only connect up to 4 at a time on the local thing, so it's not like online. It's you playing with other people in the same area as you, like in the same room. But you can also do this wirelessly because, like I said, the headset itself can be charged. So you can use it, wirelessly with your console. So if you really want to, you could have your other friends sitting in different spots in the room to make sure that you're all not like huddled up together and possibly smacking each other in the face, which I don't think anyone would like. But because of this design, Megasoft has essentially made a gaming console that has never been developed before. A purely virtual reality gaming console that still possesses the same attributes of a standard gaming console, like playing online, utilizing physical media, the ability to play locally with multiple people, stuff like that. I absolutely love this idea. Megasoft, you guys are geniuses. Anyway, so there's that. So I already talked about Protendo, I talked about Megasoft. What's next? Well, how about our friends at Cosimo? The Japanese gaming giant has a lot of love when it comes to making hardware and making games, especially a certain super speedy Fennec Fox. For some reason, I've heard whispers that he's also from the other Earth. Oh yeah, because my alternate dimension twin made him in that world, but to us, he's already been here. Yeah, so Cosmo's making their own gaming console called the Quasar. Now, to those people on the other Earth, you might be familiar with a gaming console called the Sega Dreamcast. Surprise, surprise, you'll be happy to know that this new console from Cosmo looks an awful lot like your Dreamcast. Only, unlike the Dreamcast, it's not going to last 2 years on the market and then promptly die because of rising competition, only to be fondly remembered many years later, even to this very day. Makes me want to get one. I wonder if there's such a thing as like trans-universal stuff being delivered to you. So like, you could have something from your world transferred over to here. Like, you could order it from here and have it sent over through whatever technology you would use. Because I would love to get me a Sega Dreamcast. I don't even know what a Sega is at all. But my alternate dimension twin, I keep not saying his name, Brandon. He says it's a really good company, but they used to be at the top of their game back then. But hey, falls from grace have their caveats, you know. Anyway, so the Cosmo Quasar is Cosmo's HD console that they're extremely excited about. Because, for one, they have a new Jolt game called Jolt's Adventure, which is really cool. It's Jolt's first fully 3D adventure style game where you can like explore, you can go around levels and do all this stuff. You have like a set number of objectives that you have to do in the levels, which is really cool. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I've actually seen the Cosmo Quasar before in pictures, because what's really cool is Cosmo has their own sort of like online. No, not online. It's like this sort of membership thing called Cosmo Prime. And what's really cool is if you're a member of that, you can actually get exclusive sneak peeks of what they're doing. Now, unlike the Megasoft stuff that has NDAs attached to it, I can talk about this, but I don't have any images of it because they wanted to keep this private. Plus, I can't even save the images anyway. But it looks really cool. And from what I've heard from people who have play tested the system, they're really impressed. So with that being said, Cosmo seems to be doing their absolute best with this system, and I love it. That's the only thing about Cosmo, though. Right. So, what's next? Oh, right. So, one last thing I'm going to bring up is a new paradox. And by paradox, I'm talking about the Zodiac paradox, which is a brilliantly designed sports hatchback coupe, whatever you call it. In your Earth, you call it the DeLorean, but in my Earth, we call it the Paradox. We're getting a new version of the Paradox, which is a lot more sportier and a whole lot more aggressive, I guess. I think I have a drawing of it because I remember seeing a photo of it and becoming enamored, so I drew it. Let me get the photo. No, not photo. I'll get the drawing and I'll look at it. Because I forgot the name of the vehicle, but it's a new rendition of the Paradox, and it looks really cool. Wrong book. Oh, it's that one. Still looking. Yeah, I couldn't find it. It was just a picture of the old Paradox. But the new one is called the Paradox S. And it has largely the same body shape, it's just more rounded on the edges, so it doesn't look as angular and jagged. But it still has the same design philosophy. It looks really cool though. Alright. Alright, I'm back. I don't know if anyone heard that, but yeah. So it's called the Paradox S. I couldn't find the drawing that I was talking about, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's not the only thing though, because Zodiac has a new power type, or not type, class. See, in your Earth, you have different classifications. Like, of course, you have sport, super, hyper, muscle, off road, stuff like that. So we still have sport class cars. We have turbo, which is really cool. I was about to say, hopefully I don't disconnect. Bit rate's off the charts. Let's see. Oh, right. So instead of muscle, they call it power class because of their high amounts of energy that they expel. So it's like, uh, it's like outputting a whole lot of energy towards the motors of the cars and stuff. Uh, we of course have the off-roads class, the utilities class, stuff like that. So those classes still exist, but some of them have different names, and it's partially because of the eco fuel that we use versus gasoline that you use in your world. But other than that, it's mostly the same. But we have a new power class vehicle called the Firehawk. I'm trying to think. In design concepts, it was called Trancer, but now it's just called the Firehawk Blazer AMX. Yeah. So the Blazer AMX is the newest rendition of the iconic Firehawk series of power class vehicles by Zodiac, which in your world is a now defunct company called Pontiac, which I hear is a really cool company. Sad they had to close down, but hey, when you're running out of money, what else can you do? But yeah, so Zodiac in our world is essentially what Pontiac would still be had they continued. And I'm not trying to rub that in y'all's faces, I'm just saying. But it's really cool though. Now you're probably wondering, well, wait, if Zodiac is the equivalent of Pontiac in the Radical Earth world, how come they made the Zodiac Paradox? And the Paradox isn't made by Pontiac, like, the Zodiac in your world would be the DeLorean, and there are DeLoreans in your world being made, according to what I've been told. But it's not made by Pontiac because, Pontiac's gone, and even when they were still around, they didn't even make Pontiacs, or DeLoreans. That's the thing. So, Zodiac themselves prides themselves in making a wide variety of different vehicles inspired by what people want as well as what's popular. For example, there's a series of movies called Time Striker, and it's about this guy named Jacob McFree, and his mission to stop a time traveling villain called the Time Breaker. And so he has to use a Zodiac Paradox, which has been heavily modified to become the Paradox Time Wave. And so what's cool about the Time Wave is that there was a partnership with Zodiac to make a version of the Zodiac called the Time Wave R, or Replica, and that was a completely legal version of that same vehicle, complete with all the doodads inside it. Of course, except, it can't time travel. It's just a cool looking replica. That's all. But what's really cool is that the design for the Paradox and what it ended up being was made by the same guy who made that movie, because he was having trouble deciding on a vehicle that would look futuristic, and so he decided to make his own concept. And so Zodiac had actually approached him asking if it was okay if they used that design as a new vehicle for Zodiac, because at the same time Zodiac themselves were having trouble figuring out a new vehicle to make as a addition to their lineups of vehicles. So, of course, the guy directing the movie agreed, and that's how we got the paradox that we know today. Anyway, with that being said, I know I had to split this episode into 2 parts, but it was because of that cutoff earlier. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later. Good night, and see you later. I already said that. Like, comment, and subscribe.